In an experiment performed by James M. Carlsmith at Stanford University, subjects were made to do a very boring motor task for an hour. After the task was over, they were asked to tell the next participant that the experiment would be fun and entertaining. Afterwards, the first participants were rewarded either $1 or $20, and then interviewed on their private opinion of the task. Despite having experienced an identical motor task, the participants who were rewarded $1 rated the experience as being much more interesting than those who were awarded $20. How could this be? The answer lies in a concept known as cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is a phenomenon wherein two coexisting ideas, events, or beliefs are inconsistent with each other. Most frequently, this is seen as a conflict between an internal belief and an external behavior. People employ a variety of methods to reduce cognitive dissonance through attempts to make conflicting items more consistent. This concept can be conceptualized as a scale, with internal beliefs on one side and external beliefs on the other. If these two are in perfect alignment, the scales are balanced. If they are not in alignment, then one side must change in order to reduce cognitive dissonance and restore balance. In this case, it is likely that most participants in Carlsmith's study did not enjoy the intentionally boring hour-long motor task. When the participants were made to tell another person how fun the experiment was, this introduced a conflict. The participants' internal belief that the task was boring conflicted with their external behavior, telling the other participant that the task was enjoyable. Then, they were rewarded for their participation with either a high-value reward, $20, or a low-value reward, $1. The subjects who received $20 were more likely to see this compensation as being worth betraying their internal belief. In this way, little to no cognitive dissonance is present. They expressed a belief they did not agree with because they were appropriately rewarded for doing so. The subjects who only received $1 as compensation likely did not feel that this was an appropriate reward for lying about their personal belief. There is an imbalance between how much they had to lie about their belief and how much they were compensated for doing so. Hence, cognitive dissonance is present. So the question remains, why did the people who were rewarded $1 rate the experiment as being more fun than those who were awarded $20? In order to reduce and resolve the cognitive dissonance, the people who were awarded $1 changed their private belief to more closely align with their external behavior. By reducing the discrepancy between their true opinion and what they had to tell the next participant, it was easier for them to justify the measly $1 reward. Put simply, participants convinced themselves the experiment was more fun than it actually was to justify telling another participant this for only $1. It's easier to rationalize endorsing your actual opinion for $1 than lying for $1. This is how cognitive dissonance functions in changing people's beliefs. If a course of action you take, such as lying about your beliefs, doesn't align with your justification, a $1 reward, the only recourse is to change your beliefs. This same phenomenon can be applied to many situations. A child forced to choose between two toys of equal value will later rate the toy they chose as higher value, even if they initially viewed them as being equal. The same process is at play. The child changes their private belief to more closely align with their expressed behavior. Naturally, this phenomenon can also work in the opposite direction. If a person likes to eat healthy and they discover that their go-to breakfast cereal is very high in sugar, there exists cognitive dissonance. It is possible that, as previously discussed, they could change their belief to more closely align with their action, possibly deciding that eating healthy is not that important to them. Conversely, it's also possible that they could change their actions to more closely align with their beliefs. Switching to a healthier breakfast cereal reduces cognitive dissonance while maintaining the same health-conscious beliefs. Proponents of cognitive dissonance view it as a motivating force. Much in the same way hunger compels us to eat, cognitive dissonance compels us to change our opinions or behavior. While reducing dissonance allows us to feel more comfortable and assured of ourselves, it can also contribute to the propagation of false or inaccurate beliefs. For instance, consider the CEO of an oil company. The CEO knows that climate change is a serious issue which threatens to permanently increase global temperatures, drive countless species to extinction, and cause the deaths of many people around the world. However, the CEO manages a company which, via the extraction, distribution, and use of non-renewable carbon-based fuel, actively contributes to climate change. This presents a very clear case of cognitive dissonance. In order to resolve this dissonance, the CEO will most likely adjust his belief, deciding instead that climate change is not that big of a deal, that oil extraction does not contribute to it, or even that the entire thing is a hoax. This is just one example of how cognitive dissonance can contribute to misinformation on the level of the individual. So, while cognitive dissonance can be the motivating force which compels people to eat healthier, be kinder, or otherwise act in accordance with their personal values, it can also be the truth-distorting tool which allows people to justify any action by simply altering their beliefs. Luckily, the more thoroughly we understand how cognitive dissonance drives us to change ourselves, the more agency we gain in deciding which way we want the scale to tip. I'm Ethan Orr, thank you for watching.